Hello and welcome to tonight's show.
Man, I'm brokenhearted, man. He trying to console me and cheer me up, and man, we went back to the hood. We smoked a joint, but man, I was like devastated, man. My heart was broken. I was crushed. I was cold crushed. Talking about didn't want to eat, couldn't go to sleep, didn't want to hear no dedication love songs on the radio. I didn't want to hear nothing. I was just broken, right? So all right, I'm gonna jump right into this. Seriously, I'm gonna jump right into this because a lot of women need to hear what I got to say on this one. Seriously. Growing up as a young man, I was always taught to respect females, love females, treat them right, don't be mean to them, treat them like this holy grail of flowers, of fresh smelling flowers, right? So as I started adventuring through life, the first girlfriend I had, I was probably 8 years old. She was a young, pretty, beautiful little half-breed that stayed in our apartment complex. Her mom was white, her daddy was black. They was cool people. So, the first time of me ever getting my heart broken, I caught her and my homeboy in our laundromat making out. Oh man, I was heartbroken. But I ain't gonna lie, at that time, I was afraid of my homeboy because he was the bully in our apartment complex. He used to punk us and take our stuff and push us around and boss us around and do all kinds of things to us, right? But later on, about a year later, he tried to bully me for the last time and I got fed up and me and him got down and I whooped his ass. But not to stray away from the story, right? So that was just young little puppy love, okay? As I got older, I was shy. I was very shy. I was very timid. I was afraid of girls that I went to school with. I was scared to approach them. I was afraid to talk to them. I was afraid to even be near them, no matter what the situation was. My homeboys used to laugh at me, but hey, it is what it is. When I was in junior high school, I didn't have no girlfriend because no girls liked me because I was shy and I was timid and I didn't, really try to talk to nobody. It was one particular girl that I tried to talk to, but she would always blow me off like I was nothing. So, which was cool. I was upset. That's the first time that I ever experienced rejection in life, right? So, moving along to high school, 9th grade, I didn't have no girlfriend at all. 10th grade, I had a girlfriend. She was a 9th grader. By this time, I am selling drugs. I do got money. I do got jewelry. I am dressing nice. I am dressing fresh. And she has taken this interest into me. So, how I met her was her homegirl had walked up to me and told me that her homegirl, she wants to talk to me. See, because back then, I was so scary, I wasn't finna approach no female. You can trust and believe that. So, after all of that happened, she approached me. We started talking, and then about 2 or 3 days later, she started being my girlfriend. All right, cool. So we going out, we dating, we doing this, we doing that. I'm going to the jewelry store, homie. I'm buying this girl rings on her fingers. See, back then, we didn't really necessarily call that tricking. If I had it, my girl had it. If I looked good, my girl had to look good. That's just the way that it went back in those days in the 80s, right? So I ended up getting chicken pox. I was out of school for probably like 2 weeks, right? So about time the chicken pox had healed, I went to the doctor. They told me I was cool and I can go back to school. Because I was tired of wearing calamine lotion. Trust me, all over my body, all over my face, all of that, right? So I call myself going to her house to surprise her, right? So I walk down from my house. I catch the bus on Los Robles. I go all the way down Los Robles to her house. She stayed a little bit above Mountain Avenue, right? So as I walk up, I can see the curtains in the living room open just a little bit for me to look in there. So as I look, I see her in there kissing another dude. Man, when I tell you my heart dropped and the world stopped, it happened. So me being me, I knock on the door. Bo, 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 bo. She looked through the peephole, apparently, and she opened the door. She like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I came to see you. She like, nah, this ain't a good time. And then I heard, that's you, homie? I'm like, yeah, blood, that's me. It was the homie from the hood. So now I couldn't be mad at the homie in the hood. For number one, he didn't go to our school. For number two, he didn't know that I was in a relationship with her. So number three, he had all access to holler at her, and it was her job to tell him that she had a boyfriend, but apparently she told him that she didn't have a boyfriend. So he got on her head like, man, I didn't know you was fucking with the homie. I don't get down like that. So me and the homie, we just both leave together. And man, I'm brokenhearted, man. He trying to console me and cheer me up. And man, we went back to the hood. We smoked a joint. But man, I was like devastated, man. My heart was broken. I was crushed. I was cold crushed. Talking about didn't want to eat, couldn't go to sleep, didn't want to hear no dedication love songs on the radio. I didn't want to hear nothing. I was just broken, right? So past that, after I moved out of Pasadena and I moved to Rialto, California, I had another girlfriend. So how I ended up meeting her, the dude that helped me fight these Crips, he was from Hoover. He introduced me to his cousin. So then me and her me became an item. So everything was cool. We was in love. Relationship was going beautiful. Everything was going smooth as pie, right? Summertime hit. I couldn't go to her house. She couldn't go to mine. My mama was strict. Her mama was strict. The only time we could communicate was talking on the phone. She really couldn't leave her house. She couldn't go nowhere. She couldn't do nothing. That's how strict her mama was. So cool, I'm not with that. It's summertime. I'm out and about. So the homie Zoe or Wheelo would come pick me up from Pasadena, take me back to the hood. So all that summer, I stayed in the hood, sold my dope, made my money, bought my new school clothes, ready to go. Fast forward, new school year comes, right? Drop my ladder. New school year comes, right? So I'm walking on campus. I'm looking for her, right? She ain't nowhere to be found. So I walk over by the gym, the basketball gym. I see her hugged up with another dude. So I took a step back like, wait a minute, what the hell is going on up in here? So I instantly bang on her. Blood, what is you doing with this nigga? Who the fuck is this nigga, Blood? She like, oh, wait a minute. What you tripping for? I ain't seen you all summer. I said, how can I see you all summer when you was telling me that you couldn't go nowhere? Okay? And she telling me like, well, that don't matter. And you know what I'm saying? Those phone calls every day just wasn't working for me, right? So the dude that she was with, he was a basketball player for the school. But he had the advantage because they stayed in the same apartment complex. So this dude took my girl, homie. Took my girl right up under my nose. Broken hearted again. Devastated. All messed up in the head. I'm just like on like suicide watch or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm tripping. So I don't know. A lot of you youngsters ain't gonna know this, but the group JJ Fab, my homegirl Baby D, the one who go, that's my homegirl to this day, right? So I'm walking up the hallway. I'm mad, I'm furious. I'm like, man, I wish one of these niggas would say something to me today. I'ma beat they motherfucking ass. I ain't playing. I'm on some real bullshit today. I couldn't beat up old boy, you know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't his fault. He didn't know about the situation. He was just finding out the situation firsthand, just like I was, right? So I couldn't trip on him, so I had to hold all this anger in myself. So it just so happened, I'm walking like with my head down, and somebody bump into me and knock my books out my hand. So I turned around, walk up, and fired on him. Bow! Dropped him on the ground. Baby D, she jumped in front of me and she said, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. You tripping. Walk. And Baby D, she made me walk up the hallway and she grabbing my arm and she making me walk. I don't know if Baby D remember when she did that, but man, Baby D saved me from getting suspended that day. And I walked and I left. All right, so fast forward, right? I got into my last altercation in school, and this is why I got kicked out of Eisenhower High School. Me and her, my ex, we was friends. We was cool after that, right? So her relative, he was from Swan. He had got shot. So he had to walk around school with a cane, right? Skinny, frail. He couldn't weigh no more than $105. You know what I'm saying? Dripping wet with his clothes on. I can't remember his name, but he was a cool dude. So she asked me like, hey, can you keep an eye on my relative because there's some Crips up here in the school that don't like him. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'll watch him. I got his back. Because by this time, I didn't beat up so many dudes at that school, but I came so cool with so many Crips too. So everybody was like getting along and wasn't nobody really set tripping on nobody no more because domination had been established on both sides of the spectrum, right? But whoever these other Crips was, they had a problem with him. So I never forget this. I'm walking to my third period class. Mr. Brown, he was my history teacher. I'm walking him to class and he makes a right in his class. My class was on the left. So the Crip dude was like woofing at me. He was like woofing hard. Like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? There's slob ass niggas out here taking up for bitch ass niggas that did dirt out in LA, and now the nigga that got shot, he can't defend himself. He said, well, yeah, cuz, I'm gonna fuck this nigga up. And I'm like, damn, that's how I feel? So I'm like, homie, who you talking to? He like, nigga, I'm talking to you. What's happening, cuz? So by this time, I'm one step from walking in my class. And I'm looking at my teacher, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown is looking at me. And I respected Mr. Brown, right? Because I could have said to myself, okay, at lunchtime, this nigga gotta see me. He gotta catch these hands. No ifs, no ands about it. He didn't call me a slob. He didn't disrespect me to the worst disrespect that can ever happen to a B-dog, right? So he said, yeah, that's what I thought, nigga. Fuck you and fuck your mama too. And your mama's a bitch. And I said, right. Mr. Brown looked at me. I looked at Mr. Brown and I nodded. And Mr. Brown gave me a nod. I put my backpack down. I walked out and I beat the dog shit out this nigga, right? So while he trying his homies so they wouldn't get in, I never forget my homeboy Marcus from the football team. He got all his football players to block his homies from trying to jump me while I had this dude up against the wall beating the shit out of me. Bust his eye, bust his lip, nose, everything. I had him leaking all over the place. So I'm thinking somebody grabbing me. I grabbed that person and start beating up that person too. Man, when I tell you, it was the goddamn teacher. I didn't beat up the teacher. So, man, they took me to the principal's office and I got expelled. Shit happens, right? So, by this time, I got my eye on this other chick at school. But me and her, we was talking, here and there, and it wasn't nothing. It was just, flirtatious. But I had to go to another continuation school. But this continuation school was right around the corner from my house. So my mom had 2 cars. She had a Chrysler New York and she still had the Oldsmobile 98. So my mom worked in Pasadena, so I had all access to her other car. Because she would get me to go do errands, like go to the store, do this, do that. But after school, I would drive up to this high school and I would pick this girl up every day and take her home. Every day, 5 days a week, take her home. So then me and her, we started getting close. So then we started kicking it together. You know what I'm saying? So when my mom wouldn't let me use her car, my cousin Ron D, rest in peace, he would pick me up, take me out to her house, and I would go kick it at her house. Her mom was cool. She stayed in San Bernardino, right? Off of Lancashire and 9th Street. So I would go over there and kick it with her. So when her mama go to sleep, I slide in and you know what I'm saying? And I start knocking it down. Because I already had the sexual experience now. So as I got older, I ended up catching my first case for the carjacking situation. And I had to turn myself in to go to jail. So my cousin Ron D, I said, man, Ron D, I gotta go see her, man, one more time before I turn myself in, dog. Ron D was like, all right, I'm gonna take you out there to her house. So Ron D came, picked me up, took me out to her house. We did our thing. Ron D sat in the car the whole time. I love my relative. I miss him. May he rest in peace. Drove back to the house. Ron D gave me $50. And next day I turned myself in. About a month and a half into my jail term, I get a letter. The first few letters I got from her was cool. I miss you. I love you. I can't wait till you come out so we can be together again. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to be together. I'm like, all right, cool. So I get this letter a month and a half later, and she broke up with me. And she told me that she didn't want to be with me no more. I'm crushed again, heartbroken again, upset, mad, devastated, gone. And it's harder. I don't care what nobody say. It's harder when you locked up and you in jail. Man, it is hard. It made the hard time that I was already going through even harder because I had something to look forward to when I was getting out. Now, I ain't got nothing to look forward to when I get out. So I said, you know what, man? I'm going to reinvent myself. At that time, I was a little chubby. I was stocky. I was 5'9". I went on that weight pal every single day. Just thinking how this girl did me wrong. Just thinking how this girl dogged me out. And then I started thinking about all the other females along the way in my young life that dogged me out and did me wrong. And I worked, 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 and I worked hard. I worked so hard, I was in tip-top shape. Had a six-pack, muscles, everything. And I had a growth spurt. I spurted from 5'9" to 6'1". Boom! This song. Get out of jail. Go home. And I was supposed to go to the club with my cousin Ron D. And I found out Ron D had got killed by another dude that we went to school with behind this dude's baby mama. Sad situation. So I'm devastated and I'm heartbroken about that. I literally cried, homie. That was just, man, that was my best friend of all times. Ron D, rest in peace. So I called the homie Wes. I said, hey, I'm finna come to your house, homie. Wes was like, yeah, man, come through. So I roll out the West house to San Bernardino. So I'm like, yeah, man. I explained to Wes my situation. And I was like, she got my gangster jacket. And I need to go pick it up. So me, Wes, his sister, and her homegirl, we hop in the little, my mom's little gray Chevy Cavalier, because by this time my mama got another car. So we roll over there on 9th Street in Lancashire in San Bernardino. Get out by myself. No, Wes get out with me. I go in there and I knock on the door. Her mama opened the door. Her mama was happy to see me. Her mama gave me a hug, all of that. So I asked her mama where her daughter was at. Her mama was like, oh, you ain't heard? She pregnant. She's 6 months pregnant. She about 6 months pregnant. And I'm like, whoa, what? So I'm thinking like, dang, is it mine? Or what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Because I know she broke up with me, but she didn't give me the reason why she broke up with me. So she told me, oh yeah, they at Carousel Mall. So who is they? She like, oh, her and her boyfriend. So I'm like, did she leave my jacket? She's like, no, she got your jacket on. I'm like, what the nerves of this? Got my jacket on, pregnant, and with this dude? I'm like, homie, it's on. It's on. So we hop in the car, speed over there to the mall, hop out, we walking. I'm looking for him. Boom, I spot her. She got my jacket on. He got his arm around her, and they just walking real slow. So she look, she see me, she do a double take, and she look like she seen a ghost. So I walk up to her, say her name, what's up, whoopty whoop? She like, oh, what's up? And I'm like, oh, you pregnant now, huh? She like, yeah. And then, oh boy, he was like trying to introduce to himself. And I told him, I said, homie, I'm not even talking to you. Shut the fuck up. And he backed up and he backed off. And then I told her, give me my motherfucking jacket. So she gave me my jacket and we left. And then I was just like still sad about the situation. Like, man, she done did that to me. But the homie Wes, he consoled me, man. That's a good homie, man. He consoled me and everything was good. But from that day on, it wasn't no change in me. I ain't want to be no faithful man no more. I ain't want to be good to no female no more. If I was going to have many, I was going to have plenty. So I became this dog-ass Negro. Every woman that I came across, I dogged them out. I'd have like 5 or 6 different girls on my roster each and every time. If one dropped off, I got another one. If another one dropped off, I got another one. Because I had lost my faith in females, period. Even though I was young, I admit I was young, and those females, they were young, and they didn't know no better. But my heart didn't know no better neither, because my heart got tired of being broken, and my heart got tired of being stepped on. So any relationship that I got into, I was never faithful. I cheated on every single female that I got into a relationship. Any female that sees this video that was with me, I cheated on all of y'all. Straight up. I was never faithful, not one time, ever, to nobody, no one. I was selfish. All I cared about was me. All I cared about was protecting my heart now. because I got tired of being dogged out, disrespected by these females. So I didn't care if I broke their heart. I didn't care how they felt. Because I felt at that time nobody cared about how I felt. Then it just got to the point where it was just a drug. So where I always just liked to be with different females. It was a challenge for me. I was no longer the shy kid no more. I was a whole totally different person in a whole totally different body, different shape, everything. So I didn't really care no more. When I got with my kid's mother, same thing, I cheated on her. When I got with my second baby mama, I cheated on her. I didn't care. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? I'm a player. Why should I care about their feelings? You know what I'm saying? I didn't give two fucks. And I didn't give two fucks for a very, very, very long time. And probably still don't give a fuck to this day. Because nowadays, these women, they're easily come into your life and they'll walk up out of your life and they ain't got no problem doing it. They ain't got no problem with hurting you. They ain't got no problem with mistreating you. They ain't got no problem with cheating on you. None of that. And when I did get into relationships with females too, it was a lot of them, they was cheating on me too. You know what I'm saying? So it was a fair exchange, no robbery. Ain't no sense in me having no bad feelings about it or being mad or distraught or upset because I already had her replacement in place already. Bye. See you later. Next. Put me in, coach. Straight up. Heartless. No feelings whatsoever. Mac a bitch, trick a bitch, use a bitch, and get rid of that bitch. That was my mentality back then. Now that I'm older and wiser, I'm not that way anymore. I used to be that way, but I'm not that way. I choose to stay single and I date different women. There's no commitment involved. There's no love involved. There's nothing involved. Whatever it goes into, it goes into. When the fun is over, you go your way, I go my way. Because I ain't got time to be investing in no relationships. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of effort. It's just a waste of all of that stuff. You got to go through trusting somebody. You got to go through somebody questioning you all the time. Where you at? Where you going? Where you been? Who you with? Where you at? What you doing? All that, man, I ain't got time for that. I like to live my life free. If I find that good woman, or if I find that right woman, man, you never know. I might settle down. And people will try to say, oh, most of these men want to settle down when they old and don't nobody want their ass. You better ask somebody. There's hundreds of women that still want me. I function very well. I function just like I did when I was young. Ain't no shame in my game. I still can put in that work. You know what I'm saying? There's younger women and there's older women that still want to be with me. Still want to rock with me. Still want to kick it with me. Exes is still calling my phone asking when they can come over or when can they come kick it. You know what I'm saying? And oh Lord, not to use God's name in vain, please forgive me, sorry about that, but social media, as many as them women I done smashed on Facebook, should be a crying shame. I don't put them on blast. I don't say their names. I don't give it no indication that we kicked it. Nothing. Then you got dating sites too. It's like a kid in the candy store. Swipe, swipe, that one. Swipe, that one. Swipe, 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 swipe. That one, that one, that one, that one, that one. 90% of the time, they respond. You know what I'm saying? It's just that simple. And I'm not trying to toot my horn like I'm all of that. I'm just me. I created my own persona. I created this person that I had to create. Because when I tried to love, when I tried to be faithful, when I tried to be good, and I tried to be this perfect boyfriend, it just never worked in my favor. And it seems like when I became this dog, that it got these women's attention. When I became this no good for nothing ass dude, it got these women's attention. And they always want to come back for more. And that is a known fact. That is just a known fact. But I don't focus on women no more like I used to. Like right now, I'm making this YouTube video for your entertainment. I have a small t-shirt business. I have a candle business. I am a best-selling author for not one, not two, but 3 books. And my 4th book is coming, and it's called Put That Dog on a Leash. And everything that I reiterated in this story will be in that book, and much more with exclusive details on the situation. I am proud of who I am. I have self-made myself. I may have not been the best person in the world, personality-wise. may not been the best person as a father or as a husband or anything of that nature. I may not have been good at those things, but I have did the best that I can do to my ability. Hurt is real. Pain is real. So with that said, if mothers don't want to have their daughters run into men like me that was created by the hurt from women, you women need to teach your daughters how to respect the man, how to love the man, how to cater to the man, how to treat the man with respect, honor, and dignity. And they won't run into a man like me that has been brokenhearted, traumatized, devastated, depressed, losing weight, all because I wanted love. That's all I wanted. I didn't want nothing more or nothing less but love. I just wanted to be loved. It was women that I loved along the way, but I always had one foot in, one foot out, because I could never see myself committing to something that can just up and leave me at any given time that they want. I could never commit myself to something that can go out and sleep with somebody else and let another man conquer her and open her legs wide and let another man insert into her while she's claiming that she's in a relationship with me. This is my truth. This is my story. And I hope that a lot of people learn from this story and learn from this situation. Men are not dogs. We are created to be dogs. This is your host with the most, Big Bang, and I'm out this piece. Peace, love, and fish grease. And I'm out.
Double down.